Hey, it's Aaron, and really quickly I want to talk about the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6. So the Ioniq 6 is a midsize sedan that follows up on the 5, which was a midsize crossover. They are built on the same platform, and that means they're built as electric vehicles from the get-go. In everyday driving, the Ioniq 6 is basically a sedan. So it feels like a sedan, drives like a sedan, maneuvers like a sedan, has the room and interior and trunk and everything of a sedan. It just happens to be electric. So that's a good thing because it means it's like a car, it's just a car. It's not trying to be flashy in any way. Now, there are some details to it that definitely say this is an electric. Hyundai is doing their new little pixel thing with the to designate their electric vehicles and a couple things like that. And body design wise, it's very reminiscent of a Porsche in terms of its, especially the fastback on the back. But it's a very pretty car and it drives really well. There's a couple of options for it. There's a rear-wheel drive model that has a 53 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's 149 horsepower with a range of about 240 miles per charge. And then there's an all-wheel drive, which is what I drove, that has a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, and it produces 320 horsepower with a range of about 316 miles per charge. There is also a rear-wheel drive sport design that has the same 77.4 kilowatt pack, which means it has 361 miles per charge, assuming you can keep your foot off of it. Now, in the real world, this car got really close to those range estimates for me, and that's unusual. Usually I'm about 25%, 20 to 25% under whatever the range estimate is, mostly because I'm in Wyoming. It's high altitude. There's a fair amount of crosswind pretty much all the time. And so it's really hard to get that kind of range. We tend to do higher speed driving here. There isn't a whole lot of stop and go. I drive around town all the time here, but most of my driving is above 40 miles an hour. It's usually in the 55 to 75 range. So that tends to knock down the expected range on an electric especially, and it's also why my MPG numbers are usually not equal to the EPA either. So on this car I got really close to that, so that was a surprise, and I mostly give that to the sedan design. It's a very, very aerodynamic build, and even the crosswinds are not shoving the car as much because it's got a nice, not rounded, but kind of rounded feel to it. Pretty good tumble home if you look at the photos. So there's a lot going for it in terms, lower profile, a little more roundness to it, and things like that. Versus say an SUV, I did not get those kind of good numbers, not this kind of good numbers. I got more on par numbers with the 5. So the 6 is definitely an upgrade in terms of that. Of course, being a sedan, you give up a whole lot of other things. It doesn't have a big cargo space. It doesn't have a lot of interior space. It is a mid-size sedan. So, but if you like sedans like I do, that's great. The price for this is actually super cheap. It's $39,000 to start. That's for the rear-wheel drive model with a smaller battery, and then it just goes up. The one I drove was about $51,000 as it was. So that was the all-wheel drive version with the larger battery. It's definitely a near luxury car. If it's not a luxury car, it's a premium level car. So you could compare this to, say, Buick for that. That's the kind of experience you have on the inside of it. That's what the car feels like. So yeah, I really like the new Hyundai Ioniq 6. I think they hit a really good mark with it, and I think price-wise, it's a very good value, especially in today's electric car market. And then, of course, it's Hyundai, so it has a big warranty on everything. So yeah, nicely done there. Really liked this car. Hyundai did a good job. All right, that's all I got. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.